In this video, I'm going to talk briefly about sex-linked traits. Sex-linked traits are going to be traits that are located, for our purposes, on the X chromosome. We're not going to talk in this class about traits located on the Y chromosome because relative to the X, the Y doesn't have lots of genes, and only males have a Y chromosome, whereas everybody has an X chromosome. Females having 2 X's and males having 1. These are fruit flies, and their eye color, one possible trait that they can have with eye color, is located on the X chromosome. Red is considered the wild type. We'll use a capital T for that. They're considered the wild type, which is sort of the dominant, more frequently seen trait in the wild. And the white is considered the recessive trait, and they're located on the X chromosome. And just like with blood types, we represent sex-linked traits as a superscript, but we'll sort of think about them interestingly. Think about a cross here. We have to cross a male and a female, and so we have to, and because it's on the sex chromosomes, we sort of have to recognize if the individual is male or female, because that'll determine how many alleles they have. So let's say we cross a wild type but heterozygous female with a wild type male. So they're both wild types, they both have red eyes. But notice how I wrote them, right? We have the X and then the capital superscript or lowercase superscript to represent what allele they have in terms of that particular gene. And so let's just write these into our Punnett square here. And I'll put the male on this side. There's no rule that we're going to follow that says which side one has to be on versus the other. And then you fill the Punnett square out the exact same way that you would, maintaining, of course, all superscripts. And, of course, by convention, if you ever have 2 alleles where one is dominant and one is recessive, you always put the dominant one first. And also by convention, when writing the genotypes of males, the X comes first and then the Y. So let's look at the offspring here. We had 2 wild-type parents. And interestingly, you can be asked a couple interesting questions about sex-linked traits and sex-linked crosses. You can be asked, first of all, just what percentage of children? So this is all children. What percentage of all children will be wild type? Well, that would be 75% of them, because notice 75% have at least one capital T. And what percentage will be white-eyed? That would be 25%. But we can think about it a different way. We can also say females and males. What percentage of females will be wild type? That'll be 100%. Because notice of our females here, every single one of them will be wild type, versus the males, we have 50% wild and 50% white. So with sex-linked crosses, you sort of have to be very careful with the wording of the question, because it could be asking you about all children, could be asking you about some specific subset of the offspring.